Hello and welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is David Novak. I just got off of watching the I've Had It podcast. This is two women from Oklahoma talking about current events. And in this morning's episode, which I will put a link to in the description box, they posited that the MAGA movement, that is adherence to the movement, the upper echelon of the movement, meaning Donald Trump and all of his cohort in Washington, D.C., but also those that follow them, are closeted gay and bisexual. So mention was made of Donald Trump's fawning over the size schlong of golfer Arnold Palmer, etc., and how Donald Trump gave a blowjob to a microphone on stage, that kind of thing. And it seems like a very reasonable theory. When it comes to Arnold Palmer, that is mentioned in a poem in my book Against Fascism. I can put a link to that in the description box as well. But this is not really what I want to talk about. I just find that what these women are saying in this podcast very refreshing in light of the reading I have been doing lately of the Stonewall Reader. This is published by Penguin Classics. And for the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising, an anthology chronicling the fight for LGBTQ rights in the 1960s. This was published, I think, in like 2013, maybe. I can't remember now. Let me see. 2019. Okay. And I've really been enjoying this. It's mostly shorter pieces, say 4-6 pages in length. And just every single one of them has packed a wallop for me because it harkens back to the world in which I grew up, wherein sexuality was not discussed. It was not even acknowledged for the most part. To where we are now, where it is acknowledged, but you have persons such as these alleged closeted bisexuals of MAGA, M-A-G-A, trying to put everything back into the closet, trying to make everything undiscussable and unacknowledgeable again. So I feel that and Stephen Miller was denigrating and saying nasty things about the hippie generations. The hippie generation would have been people just slightly ahead of myself. I was born in the early 60s, so I was born just around the time this upheaval was beginning to stir. And I was not aware of any of this. The Stonewall Uprising, I think, occurred in 1967 or 69. 69, I remember now, because it was the same year that Fred Hampton was murdered here in Chicago by Chicago police, possibly at the directive of the FBI. I, of course, was not aware of any of that either. So I would have been a lad of maybe 7. My camera here is perched very precariously. I got a new device, and so I'm trying to figure out a way to recreate my old setup, and it's not so easy. And now I've got a cat coming around and poking his nose, and it may just topple everything. But what I wanted to do, I have made little readings here and there of excerpts from this marvelous book. And now, come on, don't go there. Come on. Come on. Thank you. And I would like to read today from Perry Brass. Writer and activist Perry Brass, a former member of the Gay Liberation Front, co-edited Come Out magazine and co-founded the Gay Men's Health Project. In this piece for Come Out, Brass conveys the exhilaration experienced by the thousands of people who participated in Christopher Street Liberation Day 1970, the first LGBTQ Pride March. So I'm just going to read one paragraph from this. For some people, the march was and will be one of the highest points in their lives. The courage that it took for some people to make those first steps from Sheridan Square into 6th Avenue and out of the village was the summoning up of a whole lifetime's desire to finally come clear, to say the truth as it is, to expose themselves nakeder than any pinup boy in any flesh book, to show their heads as well as their bodies, and to put their heads and souls where their bodies have been for so many years. It meant the possibility of taking all consequences unquestionably. For some people, this would be the first time in their lives they had indeed come out of hiding, come out from the docks, the dark bars, the unlighted avenues that have been their refuges, and face their parents, schools, jobs, all of the media's blackmail capacity that has made everything out in the streets now out in the country. But that was where we were, out of the closets and into the streets. If your mother could only see you now, one old man on a sidewalk in the village shouted. Well, she certainly could if she tried hard enough, and it's about time she did. Because it's about time 14 million, give or take a few million, according to Kinsey, people in America stopped being bachelors or single Americans and started being gay women and men. So I really enjoyed that description, especially the line, one guy shouting, if your mother could only see you now. We don't know how that was intended. And the response by the author, well, she certainly could if she tried hard enough, and it's about time she did. That, I think, should apply to all of us as a society. I think there is no moving backward. The MAGA movement, M-A-G-A, thinks that putting all of this stuff back in the closet is going to make people great. To use the I've had it women's framework, to refuse to acknowledge their own inherent sexual desires is going to make us great. That is a fallacy. And as I say, I don't think we can go back. We must carry on with the movement begun in the 60s. So this book, The Stonewall Reader, is published by Penguin Classics, and I heartily endorse it. I've learned an awful lot. It is divided into 3 sections. The time immediately prior to the Stonewall Uprising, then the Stonewall Uprising itself, and now we're getting into the after effects. It's really enlightening. So thank you very much for stopping by my channel.